The forest was vast and ancient, draped in mist that swirled like ghostly threads between the towering trees. It was quiet, almost unnaturally so, as if the woods themselves held their breath. Kara stood still, hidden beneath a thick canopy of leaves. Her form, though humanoid, shimmered faintly with bioluminescent patterns running like rivers of light across her smooth blue skin. She was an Ilari, a being from a distant star system, stranded on Earth after her vessel malfunctioned during an atmospheric survey. For weeks, she had survived alone, watching the humans from afar, always fearful of their aggression and weapons. Then came the sound that shattered the silence, boots crunching on twigs. Kara's heart thudded as she crouched lower into the shadows. She focused her wide, iridescent eyes on the approaching figure, a human soldier, moving cautiously through the underbrush. He was tall and clad in combat gear, his rifle gripped in his gloved hands. To Kara, he looked like every story her people told of humans: warlike, dangerous, and ready to attack anything they didn't understand. The soldier was Adrian Cross, a scout sent out by his unit to investigate strange reports of glowing lights seen deep in the woods. For days, the townsfolk had whispered rumors of a forest spirit or a creature of the mist, but Adrian didn't believe in spirits. He believed in facts, and now, as he moved closer, he spotted movement, a faint shimmer of blue amidst the gray mist. "Who's there?" he barked, his voice a mix of command and unease. Kara froze. Her breathing grew shallow. Should I run? Should I fight? She thought. But where would she go? The humans were everywhere. Adrian pushed forward, rifle still lowered but ready. The leaves parted, and his breath hitched as he saw her, tall, slender, and otherworldly. The alien woman's luminous patterns pulsed gently, like the heartbeat of a firefly. Her large eyes were fixed on him, glowing faintly in the mist. For a moment, both of them stared at each other, two beings from different worlds, locked in silence. Adrian raised his rifle instinctively. Kara flinched, raising her hands defensively, the patterns on her arms flaring brighter in alarm. "Stop!" Adrian shouted, though he wasn't sure who he was shouting at, her or himself. Kara took a small step back, her voice trembling as she spoke. "Please, no harm." Her accent was strange, her words clipped, but Adrian understood them well enough. You speak?" he asked, bewildered. The rifle shook slightly in his hands, but he didn't pull the trigger. "I mean no harm," Kara repeated, carefully lowering her hands to show she held no weapon. "I hide. I'm afraid." Adrian's brow furrowed. She looked terrified, not dangerous. His training told him to capture or report her immediately, but his instincts whispered otherwise. Her shimmering patterns were beautiful, like constellations alive on her skin, and her voice, soft and trembling, was anything but hostile. "You're hiding?" he asked, slowly lowering his rifle. "Yes," Kara replied, her gaze searching his face for understanding. "Your kind fight. I only survive." Adrian sighed, running a hand through his damp hair. "You're not one of us, are you?" Kara tilted her head. "Not from here." "Lost." She pointed to the sky, then back to herself. "Ship broken." Adrian looked around, scanning the misty forest. "Are there more of you?" She shook her head. "Alone." For a long moment, Adrian considered his options. If he brought her back to his unit, she'd end up in some lab or interrogation room, poked, prodded, and dissected. He didn't want to be a part of that. And yet, leaving her here alone didn't sit right either. "What do you need?" he asked finally. Kara blinked, surprised by the question. "Fix ship." "Leave, go home?" Adrian nodded slowly. "I don't know how to fix a ship, but I can help you find parts. Tools. Something." Kara took a cautious step toward him, her patterns dimming slightly as her fear eased. "You help me?" Adrian shrugged. "I don't know why, but yeah, I guess I am." She studied him for a moment, then smiled faintly. "Thank you." Adrian looked away, feeling oddly self-conscious. "Just don't make me regret this, okay?" Over the following days, Adrian and Kara worked together, hidden deep in the woods. Adrian snuck tools and supplies from the nearby base, while Kara showed him pieces of her damaged craft, explaining what needed to be repaired. Their communication improved as they shared more words, gestures, and expressions. Adrian came to see Kara not as an alien, but as a person, a survivor far from home, just try to get back. And Kara, in turn, began to trust him, her fear of humans slowly fading as she saw kindness where she expected violence. One evening, as they worked on the final repairs, the sky above the forest crackled with energy. A brilliant light descended through the mist, a signal from her people. Kara turned to Adrian, her face glowing as brightly as her markings. "They come. I go home." Adrian felt a strange tightness in his chest. He had come to enjoy her company, her quiet resilience, and otherworldly grace. "That's good," he said softly, forcing a smile. Kara stepped closer, placing a glowing hand on his arm. "You different. Not like stories." Adrian chuckled. "You're not so bad yourself." The light above grew brighter, and Kara began to walk toward it, her form shimmering against the mist. Before disappearing into the beam, she turned one last time. "Goodbye, Adrian. Thank you." And then she was gone, lifted into the sky, leaving the forest silent once more. Adrian stood there for a long time, staring at the stars. When he finally turned to leave, he noticed a faint glow lingering on his arm where she had touched him, like stardust. As he walked back through the forest, he whispered to himself, "Not all stories are true." And in the quiet woods, under the endless sky, Adrian Cross smiled, because for once, he knew he had written his own.